What's up everybody, it is Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, we're going to be revisiting the mysterious Needler Sentinel from the mission Quarantine Zone on Halo 2. So, way back in the day, and this is like found a long time ago, and I think a lot of people do know about it, but nobody really knew exactly the origins of this Needler Sentinel or why it existed. So, just as a brief recap before we get into it, on the mission Quarantine Zone, in this room, it's like some kind of burned down or Sentinel factory or something. In this room, there's a bunch of Sentinels, they're all shooting blue beams at you. There's also an Enforcer, but there's also one Sentinel right there to the left that shoots Needlers at you. It's the only Sentinel in the entire game, in all of Halo 2 and even later Halo games as well, that shoots a Needler. All the other Sentinels, they either shoot the regular orange beams, or the Sentinel Majors will shoot the blue beams. So, why does the Sentinel exist? What is it doing there? How did it get there? What is its purpose? Well, this has been something that's been debated for a while, and even the Halo Wiki and Halopedia both have different arguments or different opinions about it, I guess, in their articles. I don't remember which had which, but some people say that it's like an Easter egg, or it's like a glitch, or others say that it's like a cut Sentinel that is like a prototype that was meant to be in the game but was taken out. Well, there actually is an explanation why it's there, and before we get fully into it, let's take a look at some of the Sentinel's details using a tool called Assembly, which lets us look at the game files and everything. It's what I use for my weapon comparison videos if you guys watch those. But right here we see, this might not make a lot of sense to everybody, or it may not be really clear what it is, but this is the squad, the AI squad that the Sentinel spawns in, the Needler Sentinel spawns in. If you look at the bottom box, the starting locations box, in the top right corner of that little box, it says there are 3 members of that squad, 3 Sentinels. So let's take a look at the first one. This is squad member number 0. It goes from 0, 1, 2, 3. But this is the first member of the squad. You could see, this is its starting location. You can see what weapon it spawns with, where's its primary weapon index. Let me just highlight it really quick. So for the first Sentinel of the squad, the first of 3, its primary weapon index says -1. So a weapon index of -1 means that it gets whatever weapon the whole squad is set to. So going back to the overall AI squad, in the first image I showed you, the primary weapon index says 10. 10 is the index for a Sentinel beam, in this case the blue Sentinel beam, I believe. But let's take a look at squad member number 2. So squad member number 2, everything is basically the same aside from its spawn location, except for its primary weapon index. Anything but -1 will override whatever the whole squad is supposed to have. -1 just gives them all the same, essentially, but with an index of 2 here, 2 is the Needler. So this, what we're seeing here, is the Needler Sentinel. So, like I said, that might not have made too much sense to you, but basically you can see that it's there. And the third member of the squad is just a regular Sentinel as well. It's set to -1 for the primary weapon. But for some reason, the second member of that AI squad, for that particular squad of Sentinels, there's a lot of squads of Sentinels throughout the entire mission, but this particular squad, this particular Sentinel, is set to 2 for its weapon, which gives it the Needler. So that is why it has the Needler round. It's not a glitch or anything. It's actually set there in the game files, in the tags, in the scenario for the mission Quarantine Zone. But is it like an Easter egg, or is it some kind of cut Sentinel or something? We've definitely ruled out glitch, because it's nothing's causing it to be glitched that way. It's actually set that way. It's according to the game files, it's supposed to have the Needler equipped to it, even though all the other Sentinels are set to -1, and on all the other missions too, they're set to -1. Well, there actually is an explanation. So a Bungie employee named Evil Otto actually gave this explanation here. This is from a really old forum post on halo.bungie.org, and in this post he was replying to somebody asking about the Sentinel Needler. In his reply, this Bungie employee who worked on Halo 2, he said that we used to have Sentinels that dropped Needler weapons, but ended up cutting them. If you found one we missed, I would be very interested if you could verify it. So there you go. He says that there was supposed to be a Sentinel at one point that drops Needlers, but at some point in development, they decided to cut that Sentinel out from the game, and they removed, or they thought they removed all traces of it. So that means that this Needler Sentinel is a cut Sentinel from at some early point in development, right? Well, no, actually, that's not entirely true, or not. That's actually not the case here. I mean, yes, if you kill this Sentinel, it does indeed drop a Needler, and you can pick up that Needler and you can use it like any other weapon. In fact, it's actually just a regular Needler that it drops. But this is actually not what he was referring to, because if it was like some kind of special Sentinel, it would actually have a different. It would actually be different in the game files. It would be like a unique Sentinel with a unique weapon equipped to it. It would not have a regular Needler equipped to it, actually. So later in that forum discussion about that, Evil Otto actually clarified what he meant. He said that the Needler Sentinel that was cut from the game dropped a Sentinel arm weapon, identical in appearance to the beam weapon, that shot small red needles. It even had its own unique Sentinel-y, needly crosshair. And he also later says, there was a time when we had a Sentinel red needler weapon, but it looks like it did in fact get completely cut after all, and that this little dude is some aberration of a different variety that our test team missed. He was referring to, this Needler Sentinel that you saw earlier. So there you have it. What that means is that at some point there was supposed to be a Sentinel that actually fired, Needler rounds, a special kind, but it was cut from the game and it was indeed fully removed. This Sentinel that we saw is actually just a mistake. Whoever was coming with the squads, they typed the wrong number in and gave it a Needler by accident, and it slipped by their QA team. But, I wondered what such a Sentinel weapon might have looked like. So thanks to my friend Saad, who actually also makes a lot of Halo videos on his channel. I do recommend you guys check it out. He did help actually research a lot of this too. And he did make a mod where he recreated, to the best of our abilities, or to the best of what we thought, might have been that cut Sentinel weapon that fired the red needles out. That was also like red tinted. So, this is not the actual weapon. It's just recreated with mods based on Evil Otto's description of what it used to look like at some point during development. And it kind of gives us an idea of what might have been. But, like I said, this is not the actual cut Needler Sentinel that was originally in development, nor is this the actual Sentinel weapon, the Needler beam weapon or whatever. But it does, like I said, it is what we imagine it might have been like. But yeah, so there you guys have it. The Needler Sentinel that we see on the Mission Quarantine Zone, it's not a glitch or anything. It's not a cut Sentinel that was left behind. And according to Evil Otto, the Bungie employee, it is not it's not an Easter egg either. It was just a little mistake that some developer made by accident, typed in the wrong number or something, which gave it a Needler, and it slipped by their QA and testing teams, made it into the final game. That's pretty much all the Sentinel is. It's I mean, at one point there was supposed to be a Needler Sentinel that shoots like different kinds of needles, and to the best of our ability, we did try to recreate that Sentinel and the weapon based on Evil Otto's description. But like I said, we may never know what it actually looked like back then. I guess only he and other Bungie employees would know. But yeah, so there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this and found this to be interesting. And if you did, make sure to leave a like. If there's anything else for me to look into or check out or maybe explain or something like that, just let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to look into it when I get a chance. But other than that, if you haven't already, do make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.